about the first time I had an edible?
I'd love to hear about it.
I have to know this.
I'd love to hear about it.
All right, so little background. I wouldn't say I was anti-weed. I was just anti-weed for me.
Right.
Because, growing up being a PK, you either go all the way in on the deep end
100%.
or else you all the way
you're on
just
the
like
other side.
the good kid. So
in-between.
it was like
There's
I
no
want
in-between.
to please the parents, so I'm not even going to venture.
Right.
I'm the oldest child, so we the ones that follow the rules and
Right,
do
exactly.
everything
You gotta
by
set the
book.
example. Right.
So I never dibbled and dabbled. And,
Right.
So I was playing in Texas in 2015. We had a game in Colorado. So we get up to Colorado.
Right.
We get to the team hotel, and the elevator just. Because people are walking
Hit
around.
you right in the face.
Yeah,
so just like-
Colorado is
It's
also.
not the elevation that gets you high.
No. It's everywhere.
So
You walking in there
It's
like
just like
7-Eleven.
you just walking and it's like
No,
okay.
it's like
You know how
a set-
there's-
no,
you know how
you go in like
DoorDash?
7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
how DoorDash you can call and order food.
Yeah.
You can order some weed.
Yeah.
So I'm there. My teammates was loving it because they like the coach was like, yo,
let's go.
chill.
Yeah.
You might get tested when
Don't
you get
worry,
back because
coach.
everybody knows this.
We gon' chill.
So I'm good. The next year I get traded to that team.
Okay, so now you
So I'm like, it's legal. And they gave us the rules in camp, like if you're a non-resident, you can't have more than this amount on you at any given time,
Right.
but it's legal. So I'm like, well, I'm not a smoker. I don't
Right,
have asthma or
exactly.
nothing,
I'm
but I
not
got
trying.
baby lungs.
Right.
So I was like, I'm gonna mess with an edible.
Baby
right.
lungs.
Just try
So
it.
I go to the dispensary and it was like a Starbucks.
I'm
Like, they
trying
come
to
in,
tell
take
you,
your
bro.
order, write your name
Like a
down.
Starbucks.
No,
Are
for
you
real.
kidding
Yes,
me?
they take your license and they
100%.
Wow.
have like a concierge that comes out to greet you and then they give you a tour and
Tell
like
you everything
if you
about
want this
everything,
one, this
what
is
are
the
you
happy
looking
kind.
for?
Yeah. This is the body high, this is the head. I'm like, let me get a couple of cookies. They gave me like a little thing of cookies. They're like the
how
little
big-
Chips
I was about to
Ahoy.
say,
Like
the little
tiny ones,
little-
yeah.
The
Okay.
famous Amos size.
Yeah.
There you go.
So
Same as
crunchy
cookies.
too. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get that, and I'm gonna get some what are those, like the peach rings.
Yeah. Fine.
So we had practice like early in the morning, and then my ex at the time was flying back to Sac the next day.
Right.
So had to take her to the airport. So we stayed in Denver, like right down the street from the hotel. I'm like, okay, you know what? We're gonna get the edibles.
Right.
Just see
Kick
what
it,
just see what
chill,
happens.
right.
Hang out.
Exactly. We're gonna have a nice little.
Now,
last
mind you, I
night,
have
chill,
practice the
right.
next morning at 7 a.m. Our
Right.
flight is at like 5:30.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
No biggie, because
see
I'm
where this
like,
is going.
I just
This
want to
is
see
what
what
we
this.
do. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So go get some food. I was prepared too. We went to Sonic.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, so you were prepared for
I
that,
got
for that, for
chili
the munchie?
dogs
They was
and
moving walking
shakes.
out on the skates to you with
I'm
your
ready.
order
I'm like,
and
I'm gonna be
everything.
prepared because I
You
know
was
they
hyped.
say the munchies hit you and
Right.
blah blah blah. So I'm gonna be ready. I don't have to go
Right.
out looking
Did
for
you,
nothing.
did you get one of the slushies though?
Always.
Okay.
The limeade.
bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank
the
you,
cherry
cherry
limeade.
Cherry
Yeah.
limeade, that's the one.
And
That's
I
the
got
one.
and I got the cookie dough shake.
Yep.
Oh,
And-
you just.
and
He
a
was
bunch of
ready.
stuff.
You
Yeah,
was
I was
ready.
ready.
You
I
was
was
That's-
ready.
that's
So
ready.
We get to the room, boom, get inside, eat a cookie. Nothing happens. Let me eat a little food, wait for it to kick in.
Right.
It's been about 30 minutes. I'm like, man, they be gassing this stuff up. Eat another one.
Oh,
So we're gonna call a quick timeout. That is a just classic rookie mistake
It is.
Yeah.
with the edibles.
It
You hear it, you hear about it every time. You hear about it way too often.
They didn't give me any instructions.
They didn't
you just
say
you like, oh, I don't. You think it's gonna be an instant, and
Yeah,
it's not
45,
instant.
you know, so
30
you
to
45
45
minutes,
minutes, you gotta
and I
wait.
did, but I thought
didn't
maybe
hear it.
I got a high tolerance for pain.
Yeah,
I'm an
yeah.
athlete, you know. Maybe
Yeah.
I need more because like.
So let's flash forward to 2 hours later and see where we're at.
Well, so what happened is I got bored because I ate a peach ring after that, after the
Okay.
cookie, and still nothing hit me. So I was like,
Right.
I'm gonna just go to sleep.
Oh,
Alarm goes off. It's like 4:30 a.m. Time to get up.
But you woke up in the
I wake up
twilight
and
zone.
and it was just hot. I didn't think I was high. It was just really hot in the room, and I was like, okay. I didn't take anything out the car because we were just going to the airport.
Right.
So I was like, okay, where's my shoes? So I spend 10 minutes looking all over this hotel room for my shoes. And you know, I checked under the bed.
Everything.
And you know, in hotel beds, they put like the little wooden
the
boards.
block.
Yeah,
So there's nothing that can
100%.
fall under the.
I got my phone with the flashlight. Like, it's so
Right.
dark under here. I can't see nothing. Why is it so dark? And I'm looking around, and that's exactly how she was laughing at me.
Yeah.
Like, you're wearing your shoes. I never took my shoes off. I slept in the bed, under the covers, mind you, with my shoes on the whole time. That's not even the bad part, though.
That's not the bad part?
I ain't got to the bad part. This is just the preface. So then,
Lord.
Just this build-up.
I get to the airport, drop her off.
You made it to the airport.
It was down the street.
Okay.
Down the street.
All right.
Oh,
Because
I was about to say, that is impressive.
I don't think
Right,
I'm high at this
exactly.
point. I'm still normally it was just really hot.
Right.
So get to the airport. I'm like, okay, practice starts at 7. It is about 4:45. I got plenty of time. I'm not gonna go all the way back to my apartment. I'm gonna just pull up to the facility early and just sleep in the car.
100%.
So
logical.
it's about 30 minutes away, the
Right.
airport from the facility. So after about an hour, I pull up to the facility because I was driving extra cautious.
Honestly, that was gonna be my question. I was gonna say, how fast were you
When
driving?
I'm driving. I'm focused. I'm locked in. There's nobody because it's early in the morning. I'm locked in.
Right.
And the lines are just flying by.
Yeah. Going 45.
And I'm sitting here like.
Wait,
both
was this
hands
on the
steering.
freeway or is this on just any
This is
old
the
street?
freeway.
No,
I'm
freeway.
driving from
40
Denver back to It's early in the morning. There's nobody on the road. So the lines is just flying though. Like you couldn't tell me I wasn't a NASCAR driver
Right,
at this point.
100%. You look at the.
Well, I got
you
bars.
Look at the dash, you
Got the
going
music blasting.
50.
Like
Right.
I'm dang near Rick Ross at this
Right,
point.
exactly.
Mine is selling stuff off the iPhone, but
Right,
other than that,
exactly.
yeah. So
I'm out there.
I pull up to the facility. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just take a nap. I don't want to doze off and sleep too long. So I set my alarm. I don't know why. For every 3 minutes.
Still got 2 hours, but
What's with the 3?
not
Was it
every
3
miss-
minutes?
I don't know.
It was a random number.
I didn't want to miss because I didn't want to be sleeping in the parking lot
Right,
and everybody
exactly.
pull up and they go inside and not tell me.
We know ourselves. Say I will sleep for 8 hours if I let
mess around and
myself.
sleep
So
too
I
long.
gotta.
3 minutes. So
might have
it's
been a little
literally every hit.
overtime.
But every
just
3
like-
minutes felt like 2 hours. Like I was
Right.
out. So then
Fully
somebody
sleep.
knocks on the window like, hey, everybody's going inside. Boom. Okay. 6 o'clock, 6:30.
Right.
People go and get taped up. So in practice, I'm like, oh man, I'm starting to feel not myself.
Right.
Like it feels like you seen that movie Ghost Dad with Bill Cosby?
Yeah.
When he was like trying to get into his body,
Yep.
like that's what I felt like. I was trying to hold on because I was just gonna
The
drift
tingles,
off at
yep,
any moment. I'm just sitting there
100%.
like.
The tingles are not.
So, listen. When I say I caught everything that day in practice, I didn't drop a ball. I went on my one-on-ones. I'm killing, and this is the second day at camp.
Yep.
During the break, I go over to the corner, and I take a knee on the field, and I'm just because I'm trying to focus on not dying.
Right. 100%. Like this is it.
My heart is beating over here though.
Right.
Dum, 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 dum. I was like, don't nobody else hear that. Like I don't feel my pulse, but my heart is beating over here.
were you having full out of body? Just
I don't know. But a coach walks over and he's like, hey Mouse, you good? Yeah, man, I'm just focusing on the plays and making sure I get all my
100%.
assignments. They're gonna cut me. I'm gonna fail the drug test and they're gonna cut me. They're gonna cut me. So this is at 7 o'clock in the morning, right? Okay, practice ends like around 8:30, 9 o'clock. We go lift and all that kind of stuff. We go eat after. So about noon, we're done for the day. All the meetings and stuff is done. I go back to my apartment and I go to sleep. I wake up at 11 o'clock that night.
Yep.
I'm still
Feeling
high.
crazy.
And I'm
Feeling
laying in the bed feeling like
crazy.
I'm doing backflips. And I was like, you know
100%.
what? Never again.
Right.
I'm not doing this ever again. And so because my teammates that smoke all the time, and I'm like, bro, how do y'all do this and function?
Right.
They'll be like, oh man, we don't mess with them edibles.
Yeah.
Why didn't nobody tell me? Like they don't have like a joint level edible.
Yeah, like
I just
an
want
intro.
I want the high that the smokers get, not the high, like this.
Not this.
not the body in my
Yeah,
bloodstream
exactly.
high,
I'm
full body
typical,
high. Yeah.
So before we jump into this, Asa, this is my boy Asa Jackson, Super Bowl champion Asa Jackson. But just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Nah, man. Appreciate you guys having me here today. Yeah, Asa Jackson, born and raised here in Sacramento. Went to Christian Brothers High School. Went and played 4 years at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, and then I got drafted to the Ravens in 2012, year that we won the Super Bowl. So that was pretty cool.
Oh, as a rookie.
Yeah, as a rookie, came in fresh. Actually, my first championship I ever won in football at any level. If you could,
Nice.
that's pretty crazy, right?
That's dope.
So, played in the NFL for 6 years, and now I'm getting more into the coaching side of things, and finally back here in Sacramento after leaving when I was 18. Finally coming back around 12 years later, man. It's been an incredible experience so far.
So you did a little stint at Ohio State too, right?
Yeah.
Coaching?
So last year, pretty much for the last 18 months, I was coaching defensive backs, helping coach the safeties. safeties and corners at Ohio State.
You know, primarily I don't really like y'all. Not Ohio State, but the whole defensive back.
But it makes for good back and forth. That's why. That's why that's why you got to have someone, the opposition, on the show too.
We gotta have it's for balance. And so
we have a good balance.
I feel like
Great balance.
So you were talking about your story about how your first time having an edible. That's unfortunate. I think we've all had those types of stories, and we just don't want to admit them on camera. But
oh, this was recording.
Yeah, all the world.
I thought we was just
all the world could see.
Oh, he's wearing a wire. I thought we was just talking.
No, we was just no. Oh yeah, they'll all see it. They'll all see it. So it's just a different kind of vibe when I hear it from an athlete's perspective. So like, since you with you, how what was your take on like pain management? Was it like, because I know I've read a lot about how like opioids, how the pain, like that, there's that side of it, and then the weed side of it. Now, as an athlete, like back when you first started, what was your, like, which one did you prefer in that sense?
So it's funny because marijuana actually has like a big, kind of like a huge impact on my entire story. So the first time I ever smoked, I was, I think, 15 years old. And it was the night before a track meet. I want to say it was like section finals, or it was a meet where all I had to do was get in the top 8 in order to advance to the next round.
Okay.
Right? So I'm sitting there, and I don't know what made me and my homeboy, I'm not going to put you out there, but we just decided, like, you know what, tonight we just going to do it, just see what happens. I'm figuring, you know what, I'm going to get in the top 8, it's nothing. Right? Everyone's been telling me this is like so bad, you know what, I'm just going to see.
It's like, let me just try, let me see.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it was bad to the point that we rolled it up in some computer paper, bro. Like, we had no idea what we were doing.
The kind with the little holes on the side that you gotta.
No. Computer paper, like white.
The white paper.
Yes, bro. Had no idea, right? ended up hitting the thing. Just went straight to the moon, bro. I'm talking laid out on the ground, bro. Probably did this at like 8, 9 o'clock, and I didn't wake up till the next day. All right. Went out there, ran the fastest time I had ever run in the 800. Got second in the race, and from that point on, I was like, you know what? Anyone can say thank you. Anyone can say anything, but until I figure it out for myself, that's cool. I'll hear your suggestion, but I might just be a little different. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just figure it out my way. And it turned out that it worked out all right for me, at least professionally, right? So that was actually kind of like strangely a big kind of moment for me, because I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just figure it out myself.
Right.
And it kind of helped carry me, you know, all the way to being, you know, professionally successful and doing what I wanted to do. Now the actual like pain and tolerance and all of that side of it, that's, you know, I don't want to make it dark or anything, but I actually do have really big or just really passionate stances on what I believe, and my belief is more towards holistic medicine, and I believe that marijuana is a part of that. I've had friends, and, you know, unfortunately, rest in peace, just on December 18th, a good friend of mine, Lorenzo Talaferro, OD'd on fentanyl.
Yeah.
You know, my man had been battling for the last 3-4 years being addicted to painkillers.
It's no joke.
And he had no problems until he broke his foot playing running back in the NFL. Never been addicted to anything, and a lot of people don't understand the psychological aspect of what being in that environment does to you in terms of putting your body through things that are just not normal, not smart. But in order to do that, you have a very readily available opioids and things like that to help you do that. Right. And if we've seen anything over the last couple months, there's been three guys, right? Lewis Nix just the other day, Vincent Jackson before that, and then Zoe in December. Jeez. Okay, it's real.
Yeah, no,
It's
opioid
real.
addiction is real. It's a big thing.
It is real.
Brett
all right?
Favre was one that had he had to go to to rehab
Rehab.
during this season, right before the season started, something like that
Yeah.
in the off season when he was playing in Green Bay for a Vicodin addiction.
No, I know it's a big thing.
It is
opioid
real.
addiction. Now, when you were playing in the league, what was the the NFL's policy on that?
We can get into all of that, but I'm gonna be honest. We got a book that we gotta write about all of that, so we can monetize it.
Yeah.
Because if I got into all of that, and we just
You would tell everything.
yeah, exactly. Like
Okay.
you know what I mean. But
Okay.
there are things in place, and people do this a lot of times where they say things to be able to cover their behind, but the implementation and the actual way that those rules are enforced is a lot different practically. I guess that's the most PC answer that I could give without getting into too many specifics.
Okay.
You know, but I will tell you this: they have been completely against marijuana. The NFL and the NBA specifically. You know, there are the two other of the major four leagues, the MLB and NHL, haven't had the same, not nearly as strenuous marijuana testing laws, and I think, you know, a lot of that has to do with the fact that the majority of the NFL and NBA is made up of African American brothers. Like, it's just the proof is kind of in the pudding there.
Right.
And I think that is a big piece of it, because if we've seen anything as far as state and federally, medicinal marijuana is an excellent painkiller and pain thing for a lot of people a lot of different ways, not just mentally, but physically dealing with inflammation and all the way down to cancer.
Yeah.
Like it's
Giving
proven
you an
at this
appetite.
point.
Yeah, give people
that are-
appetite,
yeah.
help people sleep,
Thank you.
help people
Which
who
is
have
so
anxiety,
important to sports, which
mental
is
health.
so important to sports. Which is, I mean, it's just all of these things.
Even people that have seizures. I saw a video. There's like I think it was like a little girl, little boy. I'm not sure, but
The
was having
CBD
a seizure.
pills, and
But
they'll give them to 'em,
this
the
was even
super-
before that. This
Oh,
was
yeah.
like the dad or whatever, like rolled up a joint and blew the smoke in the kid's face, and within minutes the seizure calmed down.
Wow.
I'm trying to tell you.
Crazy.
Trying to tell you, there's a lot of medicinal benefits that we've seen. I think we need to really start asking the tough questions on why some of these things are just now in the last couple years,
Right.
with the different movements taking
Follow
place.
the money.
I was
Follow the
gonna
money
bring
trail.
in is
You
that
already know.
recently the NBA actually lightened the rule as well, because of everybody coming out of the bubble and just all the issues that stemmed around that, with people having mental health issues just being closed off. So they lightened it. I know they lightened it, and then the commissioner was just saying that, you know, they think that's they stay that way, lighten all the testing, but they don't want to give out the wrong message.
The message is they can make money off of it now.
Thank you.
Because at one point alcohol was illegal,
Thank you, Ron.
prohibition. But then when they could start taxing it and regulating it, then all of a sudden, go
it's-
ahead. Now it's the
which is
biggest,
wor- which
it's the
is worse
biggest
than
advertiser
anything
else.
in the NFL
Right?
Yeah.
games.
Which one would call it? Alcohol kills more people
It
every
does.
single year than all the other drugs combined. Yet, like you said, it's the biggest, you know, advertiser in, you know, the NFL.
You can buy it
and all
at
these
the
things.
game, but then they say don't drink and drive. But what do people do when they go to a game? They tailgate.
They
gotta
tailgate.
Hours
you're
before
already,
the game starts,
you're already
they're drunk.
You're already
Then
drunk,
they're
at,
drunk
the
at the
game.
game.
Again, so what did I say? People will say things to cover their behind, but the practical implementation of it is what it is, and we all know how that stuff goes. Just think about that applying to all of these things. You know, don't drink and drive. We'll stop serving you after the third quarter.
But people
You
already
had
been
8
drunk.
beers by then.
Or
the last
shots or
45
whatever.
minutes, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, you need
$13
that's
beers.
not gonna do it.
The
for
one
you
you
not
just
being
you're holding
fair
it throughout the
driving
game.
home.
You're holding it. It's just something to sip on
Right.
throughout the game, because you already tow back from the tailgate, being there 2-3 hours
saying,
before.
You know what I mean? And, you know, I'll bring up another one, like, you know, a couple of years ago, taking, you know, amphetamines and all of those drugs used to be an instant 4-game suspension. You lose 4 game checks.
Okay.
You know, myself, I was suspended twice for having bad prescriptions. All right? Lost 12 games and 12
Bad
game checks.
prescriptions, what do you mean?
In terms of taking, like, Adderall and
Got
amphetamine-based
it.
substances.
Okay.
Those were instant instant.
No questions asked.
No questions asked. Remember Julian Edelman and everyone got all caught up at the Kentucky Derby popping mollies and stuff. Rules changed just 3 months later. I'm not saying it's causation. I'm just, bringing up facts.
Right.
And it's like, okay, so then what message is that sending? They weren't worried about no messages then.
Right.
And, at the same time, it's like, yeah, should moral things, like, should we penalize you at work just for stuff like that? Like, there's something to be said about that. Whatever your morals are, they are.
Right.
But when you start trying to,
even
trying to judge morality
historic
and put it into a thing, you got to look deeper than just, the dollars and cents. You got to start looking at who's really involved,
historically,
and who's affecting.
In the 80s, when they had the war on drugs, right? It's not really a war on drugs. We
No,
know it's targeted
it
at certain
Thank you.
demographic. But even with that, in Virginia, I went to Dare Elementary for they had a whole school, Dare. Remember the whole campaign?
Oh, I was like, Dare. Got you.
Yeah.
So, but that was the campaign they're preaching. Just say no. If your friend offers you a joint, what are you gonna say? At the time, it was no.
Right.
Just
They had the commercials with the skillet.
No.
This is your brain.
This is your brain on
This is your brain on drugs.
Yeah.
Fried. Really? Is that what happens? Any questions? I got a bunch of questions, actually. But that's the message the propaganda that starts from an early age. So then it's, if you break the law, understand this is why your uncle or this is why your dad or this is why your friend is going to jail, because they didn't say no. That's what they feed that into the community, but at the same time, they're the ones sliding the drugs and the guns and all this
just
stuff
like we know.
into the community.
Just feeding it, spreading it out all into the community,
That's
all
the-
into everybody who they know is going to have an addictive reaction
that's the
to
80s,
it.
right? That's the 80s.
Right.
Now, if we go back even farther to the 40s and the 30s and the 20s, right? When everybody was having these opioid parties, right? It was a high-end drug, right? That was like what the Hollywood people do, how cocaine became.
Right.
Not crack, but cocaine, right? Just out in the open with it, no big deal. But the problem became we need a way to criminalize a certain group of people.
Exactly.
And-
Not everyone can party like this.
Right. So if we
gotta
see
keep
a
it-
certain
You
community,
can't give everybody that luxury.
Right.
so what they did is they said weed is the drug of the criminals that like the black beast men that want to go around raping white women, right? So that's the connection that they
What
made.
song did they? It was a song and
there
a
was a
commercial. You know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly.
You know
I know
exactly-
there was a song.
But
I don't-
absolutely, yeah.
Like that's the connection that they made. So, and then you see, okay, well, if the black people are smoking this, that means they're this kind of person, or if they're doing this, they're this kind of person, right? So that was the message that they put out. Even that movie was the movie like Godzilla. I'm not Godzilla, King Kong.
Yeah,
You got the
exactly.
big black gorilla trying to take the helpless
okay.
white woman. Like that's
Exactly.
the image that was
The
painted.
damsel in distress.
Yeah,
Right.
that's the image that's painted. So if you see a black man and he's smoking weed, he's trying to rape your white women. Like what? But that's the message that they sold, and then you introduce it to our communities. It's like, man, you know what?
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy that you're making. You're creating that.
You create the problem, and then you throw the people in jail for that, because that's a stress reliever. Like they knew what the benefits of the stuff was back then. Even when they had hemp, they were using for rope and everything.
Exactly. Hemp was going to replace paper. That's part of the reason that they criminalized marijuana in the first place.
So basically, when it comes to sports, then why is it such a now? Because with different states legalizing it, why is it still taboo?
Control.
Yeah, 100%. It's not something that it's been looked at one way classically for so long. Let's think about it. Like until the last couple of years, the biggest the biggest watching section of the country wouldn't just be all right with, they're allowing them to smoke weed and these are the people that my kids are supposed to be looking up to. We couldn't even take a knee during the national anthem without people sitting here telling
But Tim
us that
Tebow was
had
doing
something
it
to
all
do
the
with
time.
the game. Like, they gotta please those people.
But
Right?
then-
The owners know that it's all about the money. They gotta please those people. So now that this is starting to become a little bit more socially acceptable, okay, yeah, we can change the rules a little bit,
They just have to change the narrative so that it doesn't look like they're saying, you know what, we were wrong
We were
all
wrong.
along.
Exactly.
We'll
Now
just
we're
say,
going to
no,
start
we've
donating
evolved. Now it's about mental health.
research and mental health.
Right.
And
Who
was Ricky
using
Williams?
different substances, and we're
Right.
trying
'Cause
to
I mean,
be
Rob
progressive
Gronkowski
about
just
this.
became but while he was retired,
Right.
became a kind of a spokesperson for a CBD company.
100%.
So then it was okay. There was nobody saying anything bad about that.
Right.
But,
Well, I guess you can get into the different things with CBD and THC. Like there's
the
a
difference, right?
Yeah, they test for the THC. If you have that in your, that's what you'll get in trouble for. CBD, you won't. So it's like he's on the fringe, but at the same time, the medicinal benefits of marijuana, whichever way you want
But
to
it's a
slice
gateway
it, it's a real
drug.
thing.
It's a gateway drug. If
Absolutely.
you use marijuana, you're gonna
You're
go
gonna
straight
automatically-
to crack.
just
Heroin and whatever.
Again, alcohol kills more people than all of those drugs combined
Exactly.
every single year, and it's the biggest thing that is publicized in advertising in those sports. Like everyone could sit and whoever's writing the narrative is going to write it the way that's most beneficial for
Exactly.
them. Like,
So in terms of
that's it.
narrative, look at now with like meth and all this stuff that now it's
opioid
a
crisis.
sickness.
Exactly.
It's a disease.
But
not-
crack was an epidemic,
Thank you.
and these people need to be fleshed out. We
yeah,
just
and
throw
they
them all in
fueled it.
prison.
They getting money.
So that's what the narrative is like,
It's
because then you
100%.
create private prisons, and then you fill these private prisons because you've created a problem that only exists in one area.
Exactly. You've created the problem so that you can fix it and control the whole thing. Like that's called systematic oppression.
I should have been a pharmacist.
Yeah.
Look, got paid.
That's where the money is.
yeah,
what they
it
do.
is.
That's the every
Pharmaceuticals,
NFL
all
commercial
of that.
are just pharmaceutical stuff.
Right.
It's a bunch of side effects of stuff that if you didn't take the medicine, you'd probably be in a lot less pain.
Right.
But then you have to take medicine for the side effects of what your actual problem is. Then you need more medicine for those side effects, and then it's like.
Well, with the
side effects is
pharmaceutical,
worse than the
with the
actual-
pharmaceutical companies, they're asking the doctors to do all these test trials, right? But then the doctors in turn get paid from the pharmaceutical companies pushing those,
Yeah, just write a
pushing all
script.
those, pushing
And
all the
and
meds.
they can select which studies make it and which ones don't.
Right.
Because they're paying for them.
Now, why don't the doctors do more studies then on medical marijuana use
Well, that's the
for
thing, is that
everything,
they
for all
probably
these?
do, but whoever's funding it, so you do 5 studies, right? You give $2 million to 5 different universities, and you say, well, that one's not good for us, so we don't have to pick the one to publicize the one from
wow.
University of
Okay.
Minnesota. But this one does look like what we want, so we'll
Let's
just
use
take the
this
one
one.
from
The one
University
that's the one that
Oregon.
that's pushing
Right.
your narrative.
Exactly, but you own the rest of them. You can just squash them after that. So then, well, no, we got data here saying that. That's how they do it. They're such big money-making machines that they know what they're doing. And keeping those machines going is why we have this pill epidemic.
It is a big epidemic. I know in high school, there were a lot of kids that were just popping Vicodins, popping whatever, Adderall, everything. And it was just like, well, why? What's going, and and I went to a predominantly white high school.
Right.
And that's what their drug of choice was.
In the Bay?
I went to high school in Santa Rosa. That's not the Bay Area.
Yeah. No.
That's another conversation.
No.
We'll save that for
Now
another
we
time.
got our own little inside.
Oh, okay.
'Cause
Little
she's from San Jose.
Bay District. Okay.
From the Bay.
South Bay. That is South Bay.
See?
I'll give you that.
Thank you.
No, San Jose, South Bay, 100%.
When you say the Bay Area,
San Jose is part of that.
I'm saying when you're saying you're going to the Bay Area, or do you
Everyone
say,
assumes
if you're going to
San
San
Francisco,
Francisco,
Oakland,
Oakland.
Berkeley. Okay, cool.
If
But
you're-
South Bay, you got to
but-
include San Jose.
if you say you're going to San Jose,
Not Morgan Hill. Not
Thank
Morgan
you.
Hill.
Or not
San
Gilroy.
Jose,
Not
exactly,
Gilroy. Not Gilroy.
Campbell.
No. San Jose, South Bay. I'll
So,
give them that.
but if you say that you're going to San Jose, do you say San Jose or do you say the Bay?
You can say either one.
But
and
do
anyone
you?
from California
No,
will know
but
what
do
you're
you?
talking
But
about.
do you
Thank
say?
you.
Do you
Thank
say
you.
I'm going to San Jose or do
Thank
you say
you.
I'm
No,
going to
I'm
the Bay?
saying,
we-
I'm
we-
flying to the Bay this weekend. Oh, where you going? San Jose.
Exactly.
Oakland.
Exactly.
San Francisco.
You get
Berkeley,
specific. If
Emeryville.
they wanna know, you
exactly.
tell 'em.
But that's the Bay. I wouldn't say that
Exactly.
if I was going to Salinas. You know what I mean? That's not. No, that's not. I would say I'm going to Salinas.
Yes. Okay.
That's not the
Yes,
best.
exactly.
But like San Jose, yeah, 100%.
You called it back.
Yeah,
That's cool.
That's
I
best.
said at the beginning of this, I don't agree with him anyway.
Exactly.
DB, so
He's
that just
up
proves
anyway,
my
so
point.
It's perfect.
It's all good, but it's 2 against 1, and this, guess what? My
You know,
side.
you know how many times I see double teams and still
My
score?
fish.
We could pull up
It
the
ain't this
film.
time though.
We could pull up
That's
the
the
film.
problem. That's the problem.
We could pull up
He's
the
talking
film.
about any time, but it's not this time.
Not this time.
So
My side.
it's on
Your
camera.
side.
My side.
Hey, she loses bets. I'm just. Fortunately for you, he wasn't agreeing with you because it was you. He was just agreeing because that's his thought. But you lose bets. That's proven.
She on the Knicks side now. I really do appreciate y'all having this for me today.
Hey,
Knicks
yeah,
till we die,
Knicks
I'm out
fan.
here.
So, thanks for watching another episode of Whose Side Are You On? Obviously, you're on my side. Anyways, thank you for watching another episode of Whose Side Are You On? Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, DM us, hit us up, let us know what you want us to talk about, because I'm sure there's a ton of debates out there where, you know, he'll be wrong and I'll be right. So,
There's
make sure
literally
you
none of the debates that I'll be wrong about unless you just want me to choose that side. But
stay locked in. Make sure you hit that notification button and stay updated. See y'all later.
peace.